So how to build incredible habits. This is a book review and a semi-summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear. So why are habits so important? Habits make up 40 to 50% of everything you do in your day-to-day activities. The things I'll be sharing in this presentation are the most useful things I've learned from Atomic Habits and that I've actually applied in my life and seen a positive ROI. Firstly, the one space, one use principle. So your environment triggers all of your habits because you create associations with the certain pieces of furniture or the certain rooms in your house. For me personally, I have one desk where I work. So when I'm sitting in that chair on that desk, I know it's work time. Nothing else is done in that area. I've also got a little laptop desk where I sit and I've got my book opened up. So that is where I learn. So when I'm sitting in that desk, I'm learning. And then if I'm laying in my bed, I'm either sleeping or fucking, not doing anything else. It's one of those two. So there was a study done to cure insomniacs. Scientists had the insomnia patients, they had one simple rule that they could not do. They couldn't lay in their bed until they felt tired. So this meant if they've got to stay in their living room until 5 a.m. in the morning, or they don't sleep at all, that is what had to be done. That was the only rule in this experiment. So after a few weeks of this experiment, the scientists told the insomniacs they can go back to doing their habits that they were doing before. So remarkably, they found out that they actually rewired the brain of these patients. After a few weeks of this experiment, scientists told the insomniacs to go back to their normal routine and their normal habits. So remarkably, they found that it actually rewired their brain because the association they had with their bed when they laid in it, it was because when they were in the bed for the last couple of weeks, they were tired. So when they laid in bed after the study, their brains tricked them into being tired, all because of the association they had with their bed now. So this study just goes to show how important the associations you make are in your environment. Now, to break bad habits, there is a 4-step framework. Step number 1, you need to make it invisible. You need to remove all cues from your environment. As we've just discovered the crucial factor that your environment plays in your success, we want to make sure there are no cues that trigger the bad habits. So for example, if I wanted to quit smoking, I would make sure there are no visual, or if any in my house for that matter, no cigarettes, no lighters, no ashtrays, anything that would make me think of smoking. Remove that from my house immediately. Step number 2, make it unattractive. Now the way you make it unattractive is through a method called pointing and calling. So when you get the urge, you say out loud the bad habit that you're not going to do, and then follow it by a list of exaggerated outcomes if you do indulge in that bad habit. So for example, I will say out loud, I'm not going to smoke because it destroys my teeth, no women would ever want to be with me, and I will die in 10 years so I'll never be able to see my kids grow up. Obviously this is an extreme example, but you get the point. So step 3 is you need to make it difficult. You want to increase the friction to actually partake in these negative activities. With the smoking example, you've got no lighters, no tobacco, no cigarettes or anything at your house. So if you get the urge to smoke, you need to go all the way to the shops and waste a bunch of fucking time. Who's going to do that? So the key here is increase the friction to break your bad habits. Now the 4th and final step is to make it unsatisfying. Now the best way to do this is have people around you actually shame you. Yes, literally bully you for it. When you're first wanting to quit smoking, tell everyone in your environment, everyone you live with, if I talk about smoking or if I am smoking, I want you to bully me. Literally bully me. It may sound cruel, but you won't want to let them down and they actually hold you accountable because you've made a commitment to them. So this brings me to the last point of breaking bad habits. If you're around 5 smokers and you're hanging out with them, guess who's going to be the 6th smoker? You. So if they're not aligning with your goals or your purpose, you need to cut them out. The next game-changing technique from the book is habit tracking. This is literally the best way, if not the only way, to gamify your life. When you're ticking all the things off you've completed in your day, I don't think you realise that you get extensive amounts of dopamine that is released. I'll make this short because once again it's pretty simple, but if you guys want another video explaining habit tracking in depth and showing what my habit tracker looks like, let me know in the comments below. There's 3 ways I like to track my habits. The first one is tick tracking. It's literally as simple as having a Notion spreadsheet open, and when you complete your 30 minutes of reading, you click the tick button. Or you create on your phone notes or paper by your desk, and whenever you complete the task, you just tick it off. So secondly is the calendar method. I'll get a physical calendar and hang it in your office, and every day that you complete your non-negotiables or all the things on your habit tracker, you take a big, bold red marker and you tick that day. So this means when you miss a day, you're going to be looking at that for the rest of the month, feeling shame about not ticking that day off. But when you tick those days off, you create momentum because you get so much dopamine from looking at your calendar. Every single day is ticked. Why would you want to stop it? You've just gamified your life. Finally is the coin method. I don't use this one all the time, but it is good to have in the arsenal. So let's say I want to send 50 outreach messages or read 30 pages. I'll grab 2 jars. One jar has 30 coins, for example, representing each coin, representing 1 page. So every time I read a page, I take 1 coin from that jar and put it in the empty one. So the benefit of this is obviously it's a great way to counter it, but if you get distracted and you come back an hour later to your desk, you're going to see the coins half completed. You're going to see your reading half completed. So it creates that visual cue, and it actually also reminds you because you can physically see that you still need to read. So those are the 3 ways to do habit tracking, and I would recommend every Sunday you look at all the things that you've tracked throughout the week and you ask yourself, how can I optimize my routine so I can tick more things off? How do I optimize routine so I can get more done? What do I need to improve? What's working well? What should I continue to do? Now, onto a few key ideas I got from the book. Focus on the systems and the inputs, and the goals / the outputs will take care of themselves. Focus on what you can control, and your goals will come to fruition. You just got to focus on the input, and the goal will take care of itself. Obviously, I'm not saying not having goals, but you create the goal, kind of park it, and focus on the inputs. Focus what is in your control, not the other way around. Now, another one is if you miss one day, never miss twice. Never miss 2 days in a row. That destroys all the momentum you've created. I understand life gets in the way. You may miss a day. You may not be able to do all your non-negotiables. It happens. Now, an accountability partner as well as an accountability contract. Find someone that also wants to create good habits or destroy bad habits and put some money on the line with the contract. Now, back to the smoking example. If we both wanted to quit smoking, we'll sign a contract so that A, they're holding me accountable and let me put $500 on it. So B, this is obviously will only work if you've got integrity and you're not going to lie to your friend. So if you smoke, you're going to owe them $500 and you're going to let them down. So it's just another layer we can add to the friction of wanting to actually smoke. Now, the more money you put on the line, the less likely you're going to do it. If you just put $20 on for smoking, you're like, it's $20. Doesn't matter. This actually works a lot better if you live with that person. Then you won't be able to cheat. Finally, the last key idea is when you leave a room, prime it, clean it. Make sure everything is in its place so when you return to come and do said activity, there is no friction required. So the easiest thing you'll be able to do is work or learn, do the task that is ideal instead of scrolling on your phone aimlessly. Now, a few quotes I've taken from the book. To lock in your future, automate your habits. The next one is standardize before you optimize. You cannot improve a habit if it doesn't exist. So this last one is professionals stick to a schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. So are you a professional or are you an amateur? Thought I would add this little bonus in for you guys. These are tips to retain more from the books you read. Step 1 is read the book once and highlight the things that are relevant to you. Don't get highlighter happy and start highlighting half the page. Only highlight the things that are truly relevant to you and your situation. Now, step 2 is once you've read the book, you reread the book again and only read the highlighted things. So these are just getting the reps in of getting this information ingrained in your brain. Step 3 is to create a book summary on Notion with all the key ideas and summarizing the chapters if you can, but mainly just getting the key ideas on a place where anywhere in the world you can log in and access that page and get everything you've learned from that book, everything that was relevant to you. Step 4 is the most important step. Now you have to apply all of that and integrate it into your life, because knowledge does not equal power. It only equals potential power. Knowledge multiplied with action equals power. Remember that. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you like this book summary, make sure you hit subscribe below. I'll see you in the next one.